And we are live. This one is unscheduled, total bonus. We'll see if anyone pops in. Because I didn't announce it. So this is just casual. We're just gonna hang out and chat. I wanted to do some coloring. Thought I would do it live and share it with everyone. So we'll just see what happens. And if nobody shows up, it's fine. I'm gonna leave it up. People can tune in and we'll see where things go. Hello, Melanie. So people are, as they get notifications. And I'm also multi-streaming to both YouTube and Facebook because why not just add more to the chaos? So people are getting notified. Hello, everyone. I didn't expect people to to pop in this quickly. Glad to see you guys have your notifications turned on for my chaos. So, hello. Unscheduled, unfiltered, all the things. Let me get my tea. I'm like, you guys might be able to hear, maybe not, because I'm using the good microphone. I have my little like space heater going because I'm cold. Wham. Anyway, hello to everybody. Hello. I literally was not expecting like anyone to show up for this because I thought about it like 2 minutes ago and I was like, I'm just gonna go live. I'm just gonna do it because I don't know, why not? Okay. There, got my tea. Yes. Needed. Very much needed. Okay. Hello. Hello everyone. Yeah, this is just gonna be chill. Like no projects like or like, finished card like I normally do, because that's just what I'm stuck in. I want to do more like this, like where we can just kind of hang out and I'll be doing random things, whether it's coloring or die cut, just like some of the like kind of more mindless things and not a specific, like, this is a card project, so we'll see. I don't even know what the temperature is, honestly. It's not super cold here. I'm just cold. But it's not cold here. It's only like, yeah, -1 Celsius, which is whatever in Fahrenheit. Like it's not that cold. But I work, for those that aren't aware, I'm in my garage and it can get cold in here. Even with, I've got a big garage heater, but I have my little space heater to keep me warm. And then yeah, the unpaid intern made me some tea because yeah, I get cold. I get cold. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for your broken ankle. That sucks. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna chill and yeah, okay. Let me switch the camera down so I can so you guys aren't just staring at my face. Okay. So, alcohol markers. Those that have watched my content for years know I have three. I've used more than three, but I currently, not including these, have like 3 sets of alcohol markers. Do you need more than one set? No, you don't. Me, I don't even need more than one set, but I'm always curious. So anyway, I have my Copics, great, Olos, love. The Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends, which I've done a bunch of videos on. I've got a whole playlist, whatever. I did a few videos using the tonic little alcohol markers years ago. I haven't used them in years. Like, they were okay. They were just whatever. And then Altenew has many alcohol markers. A lot. I only have 3 sets. I've got these 3. These are like the 3 newest altogether. This one just came out. These 2 came out a few months ago. I'm honestly not even 100% sure. These 2 I purchased because I was curious. I was like, so I bought these, and then this set was sent to me, and I haven't used them. I haven't even opened this one yet, which I need to do. And I just opened like these 2 like today because I was like, I want to play with them. I've had them sitting here, and I just wanted to play with them. So they have many sets because this is set. Does it say on the box? It says on the listing. I linked to it in the supplies or whatever. Yeah, N. Okay, N. They're like in alphabetical order. So that's N, M. Yeah, so L, L, M, N. So there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You know, there's a whole bunch of sets before this. Which I'm like, we'll see how I feel. And because I might like have to somehow get my hands on them. The one drawback is these are not easy. If you are outside the US, good luck. Because this is all I've been able to get my hands on. Because the, you know, shipping restrictions, all that stuff, because they're alcohol markers. So that sucks. But if you have a retailer like local to you or, you know, in your region that can sell them, you could request for them to try and get them in. That's what I'm gonna have to try and do. And yeah, the other thing I was holding off on because I was like, oh, people are gonna be really upset with me that because like I thought that these didn't have refills, like you just get the markers because that's just how it is with most brands. But because I thought they're alcohol inks, and I don't have links for them, I've never tried them, but I thought their alcohol inks were just alcohol inks, like not for the markers, but you can refill them. That's what they're technically meant for. So I was like, oh, that's a game changer. And same thing, really hard to get. So just given the thing. Is there overlaps in the sets? No, I don't think there's any overlaps. Not in the like, you would just have to double check because like each set, it's the same idea as their inks. Like I've been doing my little bits of research since I got these first two sets. Because yeah, I wasn't sure when I first got these because I was still getting used to like Altenew's, you know, inks and products and things. I don't think there's overlap, but don't quote me on that because there's a lot of older sets. Like a lot. And Altenew has a lot of colors, but that also is like, that's also what's tempting me. Like, there are so many colors I could have because you guys, I gotta have them all. Anyway, I don't think there is, but always double check because they do say on the like with the listing and stuff too, like the specific. So each, like, so these are the three like color lines. So this is the sun-kissed. Just a sec. These ones. Yeah, sun-kissed delights. That quad. This quad, yeah, blushberry bliss. So sun-kissed delights, blushberry bliss, and then this one, the green. I don't think I even have that yet, or do I? Oh, I do. Okay, pistachio, green opal, and then this combo is the Jade Dreams. So, yeah, they're meant. That was the other perk for me because now that you know I've got all the Altenew inks, and I was like, oh, having markers, like alcohol markers, and then I've got inks to match, and then now they're coming with like so many things. Do you need it all? No. Do I need it all? Yeah, I've got issues. Is what it is. So, yeah. This literally, that's all this is going to be, is just my first impression, you know, because I have not even so much as opened. I barely even opened the boxes. But, so they've got that. Each set has their different quads of colors. And then the package, that's the other thing, like typical Altenew, like the packaging is really nice. So that for now, I'm keeping them, I'm going to keep them stored like this, like in their boxes that they come in. They do have that's the one thing I noticed, they have a little container, which I thought was nice, that's inside, there we go, that's inside the box. You know, so I was like, oh, okay. So right now, I'm going to keep them just like that. You know, I might eventually like kind of, oh yeah. Oh, I just realized it's perforated. So we can take off. Oh, I like that. Yeah, to keep them stored in the boxes. Okay, that makes me happy. Again, I did so much research. And then this, I think, like, you can either go like this, which is probably what I'm going to do, because then I have it, you know, at a glance. But you can also, like, if I take that out, we could stick it, like, oh yeah, like that. So you could go like that. They thought of everything. I did my research. as I'm literally figuring it out live. Well, that's cool. Yeah. I like that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. That way it'll be easier than me dealing with that. Okay. So their packaging is like really pretty. Like I didn't want to like get rid of because it's got, it's pretty. Oh, I did actually test. I lied. I guess I did do a quick little test with this set. I think I just scribbled it. I don't even remember doing that. Oi. Anyway. Boop. There we go. This one I hadn't even opened yet. So let's get the little tabs off the sides. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mary. There we go. Okay, okay, that makes sense because I've seen other sets. That's true. There are no overlaps in the alphabet labeled set. So there's sets A through N. So set A, B, C, D, E, yada, yada, yada. There's no overlaps in those. There are some other sets that, I've come across, and Mary now confirmed it, that might have other sort of random colors. And because I've seen them, they'll be like sets of like 4 or 6 or whatever. Those sets, those ones, if you come across them, might overlap these. So as long as they're the alphabet labels, they're set for that. Hopefully that makes sense. So, okay, so we got that, and then good to know. I'm glad, Mary. That I kind of assumed as much, but like I said, I did my research, but I didn't really do that much research. Just kind of a bare bones little bit, because again, I've just been curious. So for those that, if you are a big fan of, the Altenew colors and inks and things like that, this would be even more appealing. And even if you're not, but that's what got me more curious, because as I started getting Altenew's inks and stuff, I want to put these in order. So G, and we'll get into the actual, I'll show the markers in a second once I've got my thoughts in order. G23, that color, then that color. Okay, so those 4 are in order. R9, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Okay. There we go. And then R 111, 112, 432, 420. Okay, there. That's in order. So yeah. There's the markers. They do, like I said, they do have alcohol inks, and they're in little like kind of triangle shaped bottles. And those can be used to refill these. They're the same colors, it's the same ink, but I don't have links for it. And again, if you're outside of the US, if you're outside of the US and you go like on the Altenew site, because that's what I discovered, is you can't even see the products, or at least I couldn't. I actually had to contact them. I emailed Aram like a month or 2 ago, and I was like, what? Because like I'd bought these sets, and then I was because I was curious, and I was like, oh, I might eventually want to get all the colors. And then I couldn't find any of it on their site. And I was like, oh my gosh, have they discontinued like that whole line? Like, are they just not doing these anymore? Because I tried like off and on for a few weeks, and I'm like, so I reached out to them, and they have it set. Yeah, because if they can't ship outside of the US, you won't even see it on their website. So so if you're like trying to look for it and you can't even find it, that's why. So things like that. So yeah. I got set N in a grab bag I bought. I'm afraid to use them because I'm afraid I'm gonna like them and have to buy them all. That's kind of that's why I've been holding off. Because I was like, crap, if I end up liking them, there's a lot of sets I have to catch up on. Again, do you need them all? No. Do you need any of them? No, just try to make that really clear. I share things, I share what I like. This video's a one-off because I'm just going to do some coloring and we'll see. You know, nobody's got to buy all the things. That is for darn sure. Um, Okay, I think we're good. And then, yeah, for my little bit of coloring, so I got my markers. Yeah, these ones I already put in order. Okay. And then just for my coloring, I haven't used this, so I have no idea how I'm going to like this paper. Okay, this is a bonus live, you guys. None of this is planned. This was all just whatever. This came out, I think it was part of the October release. Pretty sure this was part of the October release. I did a post for Instagram for the watercolor pack of pre-printed stuff. Anyway, I grabbed this one. This is the marker one. So this is all on, it says 80 pounds smooth cardstock. Like I said, I have no idea. Never used this paper, never colored on it. So this is why this is just random. Because if you're trying new markers or new to you markers, specifically alcohol markers, use it on the cardstock the first time. Use it on the cardstock you're comfortable with, you're familiar with. Because if you're testing something separately, you know, because it could be the paper, it could be the markers, it could be the paper, it could be the ink you're using, you know. So if you're trying something new, technically what you should be doing is keep everything else the same. So specifically if it's markers, like alcohol markers, keep the ink the same as what you are used to with whatever alcohol markers you use, and keep the paper the same as what you're used to. And then that way you're only testing the markers. Okay. So that, because, you know, everything can vary. It's crazy sometimes. TJ, I design with Altenew and I design with Simon Says Stamp. I do this as a job. I'm able to get things sent to me. I've already explained that. And it's, yeah, for those, again, outside of the US, you'll just have to look into retailers that carry the products and see if they can like already carry them or can get them in. Okay, so I grabbed one of these. I grabbed just one of the florals. I was kind of flipping through. The other thing I noticed, which I thought was cool, is you get two of, where's the backing? Here it is. So you get all of these, and these are 5x7, right? Yeah, they're 5x7. So if you want to make them into card fronts or cut them down, I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring. I probably won't even do the whole image in this live. We'll just see how things go. But you get 12 images. So they're all florals, lerv. And then you get two of each. And one is a black outline, and then one is like a lighter, like a light gray. So you can do it more no line. I wasn't going to do the like no line. I was like, I just want to color. I don't want to think about it too much. So I'm going with the black outline because no line is more work and more, you have to pay more attention. I don't pay enough attention. You know what I mean? So let's just do a bit of coloring and see what happens. So I'll use these pinks first from this set, from the Cottage Garden set. So strawberry, dusty pink, blush, rose, raspberry, sunset. The other thing to note that I noticed when I got them, they're kind of triangle shaped. Not harsh triangle, but they've got a little bit of triangle shape, which is nice. So they're not going to like roll anywhere, you know? So that was cool. So they're triangle shaped. They've got solid colors on the ends. Another bonus. With these, they have numbers. Letters and numbers. To categorize them. Kind of similar to like Olos, Copics, whatever, I assume. Like for color grading and hue and all that stuff. I'm kind of just like whatevs. Because I'm trying to still remember like the actual names, but at least on the back it does have like the corresponding name. So like this one, Y803 is strawberry. Strawberry. Hopefully that makes sense. So that I noticed. Oh, and it does have the name on the side. It's really small, but it's there. So it says Y803 strawberry. And then it says set N. So that is good to know. I'm glad that that's already on the label, so I don't have to like do a separate label. So then I know exactly what's set. So if down the road, if I get more and I decide to keep them all stored, like, you know, in a container or something, at least then on the label, it says the number, the name, and what set it's from. I like that. Okay, good to know. And then the other thing, and the reason why I bought the first two sets, is there's a brush nib. Looks like the pretty standard one that I've used a million times with most brands, and I like that. And then, it has a fine nib. That's my only grievance with my Olo markers, is they need this. So yeah, I was just like, and this is like a really fine, like, look how little that is. Love it. Love it. So love that. And yes, they do. I saw that, Mary. I have it for these two sets because I bought it when I bought these. You can get these label packs. Yeah, marker, topper, label set. Have I done it? Obviously, no. And you get about all the labels. So this is only for these two sets. So this is for set, I think it says right on here, right? Yeah, Woodland and Firewood Garden, which are these two sets. So I've got labels. And then the other thing I thought was cool is when you put the labels on, like I noticed though with this, just like Copics do it and Olos do it as well in their own ways, is you've got the marker and then there's a lighter end, a little band. The lighter end is the bullet nib. You know, because like when you're coloring, doing your thing, it'll, no matter what, I know because this is my first time using them, it's going to take me a while to get used to it. It's like, okay, I always want the end that doesn't have the light bands. The light band, I want that. And then the little labels I thought was cool was you can put them on with the brush nib on, you know, to mark which one is which. So, and then the other side, or you can skip that and use just those, or you could use those for swatch or whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. So, yeah, that's an option. And I obviously assume like they have these for all the previous ones. This one, the newest one they come out with, I obviously, until they come out with the next set, then there'll be like a label set, because that's what I've noticed Altenew does. So, cool. So, we got that. And yeah, it's got a fine nib, which for me, love. So let's just do a bit of coloring. I think that's enough of me rambling. Let's just try a bit of coloring and see what happens. So we're just gonna do it. I've got them in order, I think. Lightest to darkest. Yeah. So lightest to darkest. And we're just gonna color, you know? So we'll just start with, and I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. And then I can do that. I can move this out of the way. And then we're just going to do a bit of simple coloring. Nothing crazy. And we'll just see. So, don't smell your markers, but okay. I've used many brands over the years, and I can tell by the smell a lot of times what the like formulation is. And this one is sort of similar to Spectrum Noir, not quite. My literal first impression, I do like this brush nib. It's very similar to Copic. Yeah, it's not firm. It's not mushy. Yeah. I'm not surprised because like Altenew, you know, doesn't cheap out on their things. But I like this nib. This, I'm already impressed. It is better than it is better than the Spectrum Noir nib. 100%. I like it. So far. So far. So far, so good. I'm going to be knocking this over, but whatever. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll just see how things go. You know? My coloring isn't going to be the greatest because, again, this is just for fun. I'm not planning on, like, making this into a card or anything. I just wanted to play with the markers a bit and get a feel for them. And then go from there. So, and then, yeah, for those just tuning in, I did post it, whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, the markers and the pack of coloring papers are listed and linked in the description. Just because I knew that would get asked, and that saves me from trying to post that constantly in the chat. Yeah. So far, so good. Now we'll go in with the medium shade, or like second. There is a big jump. It's like that with the inks too with these. There's a big jump between the shades of color. Just an FYI. So we're just gonna flick in that color. I will say this paper is just decent. It's working fine for these because, again, like, it's Altenew. It's Altenew brand of everything. I probably would not even attempt, at least for me, if someone's got like a lot of experience, but they probably wouldn't be watching my video anyway, with a brand like Olos with this paper, I know I can almost guarantee that if I was to try my Olos on this, I would have them bleeding everywhere, because Olos are like super juicy and they're more free flowing than other brands. And this being an 80-pound paper, like thinner, yeah, I wouldn't use my Olos on this. But these, obviously, Copics would be fine. Spectrum Noir would be fine. That's all I can speak to because I don't have other brands to compare. So for those that always want to ask me about like other brands, I can't even say because I don't have them. So I don't have any experience to rely on. And even though I would like to have all the brands and all the things, it's getting sort of ridiculous. Even these ones, like I said at the beginning, I didn't need these. I was just curious and I wanted them. But I didn't need them. Haven't mastered the marker technique. It just takes practice, you know? Yeah, it just takes practice. And I'm not even doing, like, I'm going outside the lines. Again, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm just doing this for funsies. Like, this is just... I will say, though, I guess, yeah, if you did something like this, possibly with Olos, it might work, because when you're doing the flicking like this, I'm not coloring, like I'm not saturating the paper heavily like we do normally when you're trying to blend colors. that you're putting down more and more and more ink. I'm just, you know, flicking, just doop, 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 like that. That's all I'm doing. So I'm not putting down that much marker, you know? And that is one way to somewhat prevent oversaturating your paper. And you'll know when your paper's oversaturated because one, it'll like be solid, like the same color will be fully solid, and then it'll be oozing out past all your stamp lines. That's when you've oversaturated your cardstock. But I'm trying to avoid doing that because again, this is thinner paper and also because I'm just experimenting. You know, I'll have to like use these more. I've been holding off using them because I don't have a whole lot of colors, you know? So my palette is a little limited right now, but I probably will try and get my hands on some of the other sets just so I have more colors to experiment with. There we go. No one could have them all. They would have to spend all their money. Well, yeah, and it's a personal, you know, whatever people want to spend their monies on, you know. I personally don't like to tell people what to spend their money on, you know. And I just like to always clarify that because yeah, there's a fine line between doing this as a job and being an, which I hate the term, influencer. And yeah, I don't like telling people what to do. It's along the same vein as when people ask me for like what colors should I get? And I refuse to answer that. And I tell them I don't like telling people what colors of anything to get because color choice is subjective and personal. And what I like, not everyone likes. And then on top of it, I'm also the worst person to ask because I like all the colors. And I'm someone who has to have it all. I got problems, man. I got problems. So, yeah. Doodle-doo. So, yeah. Thankfully, again, we're all adults here. And people can use what they've got. And if you're not interested or you just don't want it or you're like, I already have XYZ, great. That's great. That's totally wonderful, you know? Me, I'm always, every time something new comes on the market or new to me, I'm just like, oh, well, I might need that. And then, yes, I link to everything I use and I talk about it and I name it in my videos. And I'm saying that just because I've had some recent crap thrown at me with stuff and it's just like all you're doing is pushing sales and advertising. You're advertising all the time. And I'm like, well, one, yeah, this is my job. But two, if I don't state what I'm using, I'm going to get asked over and over and over again. That's literally why I started my blog almost 20 years ago. That was why I started doing videos, is because I kept getting asked. And I wanted to answer those questions. And this was the easiest way to do it. But again, we're adults. We have free will. You don't have to buy all the things. It's all good, folks. It's all good. So far, my impression of these markers is I'm happy with them. They're great. But again, this is a first impression. And you don't need to go out and buy them. Like, can't make that clear enough, folks. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty. It's pretty. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Say, yeah. Yeah, Angela. Yeah. It's bad sometimes. Like, even though I say it jokingly in a lot of my videos, I'm like, I'm a professional curator of, you know, so many different products. But at the same time, it's true. I am. That's also why I've been holding off with these markers. I've literally been fighting with myself because it's like I have this inner need. It's like I need all the colors before I can even do a review. I need all of them, like all the sets. And I was like, dude, you're being ridiculous. Open the box and just play with them. Because yeah, what if you don't like them? Don't go and buy an entire set of something if you have no idea. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm well aware of the irony of my own stupidity. So, yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna sit down. I was sitting here doing other stuff, and I was like, I just want to sit in color, so I'll do it live. It's gonna be random, a little chaotic. What else is new? Honestly, what else is new? And we can just chat. These are pretty. It's pretty. Yeah. Make me smile. That person would be asking if you never said something about it. Oh, 100%. Like, literally. Because and it happens every once in a while, because I always try to link to everything under my videos, in my blog posts, etc. And it's not because of like I need to maximize the sales. It's because if I so much as forget one thing, like it literally happens. It'll be that one thing, and then I'll get a bunch of comments or emails, and they're like, "What was this one thing?" And I'm like, "I forgot." You know? So I do it to save everyone time and aggravation, because I know what that's like. I'll be watching someone's content and they won't have a link, and I'm like, what was it? What was the thing? I need to know what the thing is, you know? Sometimes it's easy to figure out. Other times it's like, what was that? What did you use? You know? Like, yeah. So I try to link to literally everything just in case, because you never know who's going to see something and be curious about it and want to research or whatever, you know? Now I'm going back. And normally I'm kind of doing not what I normally do with those that watch, me color. With alcohol markers, 99% of the time, in however many years, I generally just go darkest to lightest. I don't do this light to dark and then back. This is more work. I'm lazy and I just don't like doing it. But again, I'm just kind of getting a feel for these. So yeah, this is not how I normally color, but if you are newer to alcohol markers, this is how I recommend you go lightest to darkest. And then you can work your way back to blend. It gives you a lot more control. So again, it's just personal preference. And it's just something I just don't do, because it literally boils down to just I don't have time or patience most of the time. So I'm just like, raw, slap the color on and be done with it and then move on with my life. This one I'm going to make a bit darker because this petal's under. Yeah, it works. It works. Okay. And then, okay, so those are the two darkest. I got my markers already out of order. Now we're going to the second lightest. And just do a really, really light, just kind of filling in all of these. Boop. That. That. Kind of. There we go. So, coloring isn't the greatest. I don't care. I don't care. This is just for funsies. Now I need to go stamp a large floral and get my, yes, 100%. Like, especially for those that, if that's your thing and you love to, whatever, sit and color, it's like stamp out a bunch of images that you enjoy coloring, big florals, critters, whatever. And then, sit down in front of the TV. And whether it's me on your TV, I still find that weird. I've had some of you in the comments say, it's like, I'm watching you on my 72-inch widescreen. I'm like, That's weird, man. For me, not you. It's like, I can't, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird that you're watching me, all of you. It's weird for me still. I've been doing this as a job for how many years? And I'm just like, why? Why do people watch me? It's weird. Anyway, yeah, sit down, watch a show, and color. I did a very crappy job of this. Like, I went outside. I don't care. I don't care. I was just kind of playing. Yeah. So far, I like the colors. You know? Like, oh, tea break. Or so far, like, well, the colors I already liked. I like Altenew's colors. They have so many. They have a lot. They have a lot of colors. It's insane. But and someone I think asked that earlier specifically about like Altenew's inks. I don't have like favorites per se because I use many brands. Again, I do this as a job. No one needs all the things, multiple lines of inks. You know what I mean? But I do. I like the inks. I like the formula, and I love that they're sets of 4. You know, so you have all the four shades. I love that. And I am very happy with these. And yeah, the fact that Altenew has just an insane amount of colors for the person who loves all the things and needs all the colors, that just itches the right spot for me. And I'm like, yes. Again, did I need them? No. But I want them and I like them. So whatever. Like, it's like everything. You get to pick and choose. Pick and choose what works for you. Okay, we have greens. I was gonna use the yellows for the little stamens. Those are not gonna stay in order. I'm just not gonna bother. Okay, let's get these in order again too, so I know what I'm doing here. Lightest shade. I already got them in there. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now we know what we're doing. Came across an old video with the Cuttlebug and Big Shot. Oh, that video is like almost 15 years old now. That was a long time ago. I know what video you're talking about. That was old. That video is old. That was my previous life. I leave all my YouTube videos up, like all that stuff. Though that one's old. That's funny. I get it. Yeah, it's so much easier to see when you watch on your TV. I get that. I understand it. It's just weird for me. Like, when I mentally think of someone with like their big screen TV and me on it, I'm like, weird. Okay, back to what I was doing. All right. Yeah. Just gonna lay down the lightest on these little guys. That spot. Oh, that's a petal. I gotta fix that. Even though this isn't gonna be a finished project, that's gonna bug me. So I need to I'm just gonna take the darkest shade and go right in there. There. Done. That was fixed. Okay. So, just gonna keep doing my thing. I'm gonna try to push, because you can see, in fact, I can zoom in even more. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So now you guys can see just how big of a mess this is. Like, I've gone outside all it, because I just don't care. Don't care. You know? I really don't. Because this is just for funsies. If I had been planning on making this into like a card or, you know, framing it or something, I would have been more careful, you know, to avoid, just because I was literally just coloring outside the lines. Yeah. And then other times, if I'm planning, I could, you know, cut out. If I wanted to fussy cut this, I could fussy cut like right on, you know, and that would clean it up too. But again, I don't care. I'm not worried about this. This is just for fun, just so I can experiment and see how I feel. And then, so we're just gonna keep, once we get with the darker shades, that's gonna kind of conceal all these little blotchies I made. So then it won't be like either as noticeable or noticeable at all. because once you stick in the darker shades, and then I'll use them too on like sort of the edges here again to kind of cover up the oopsies, because that's just how I roll. And then a lot of times, honestly, if I wanted to finish this, like finish coloring it, add some splatter, just like I did in the video that I posted yesterday evening is when it went up, and it was an Altenew one too, because I've been trying to get caught up with a bunch of editing and stuff. Yeah, those were more clean and simple cards, and then I made oopsies on them, and then I just added splatter so that you can't tell, because that's what we do. It's like, don't throw it away, just find ways to cover it up or cut it apart, or there's things you can do. So add some more little dark areas, because that is helping to conceal where I went outside the lines, and then I'll just work my way back again. Okay, so we're gonna fill these guys in now. Yeah, add a little bit more to that. Like that. And then we'll go in with this one and sort of blend it a bit better. Just like that. There we go. Everything's working. Woo, it's all working. That works. Yeah. Yeah. How do these rank on the affordability scale? You would have to do those comparisons. That's not what I'm gonna do today. Because I honestly don't know. Because it also depends on where you are and what prices are in your, like, for you. Because it can vary, I think Copics still fall under the most expensive. I would say it's probably Copics, then Olos, and then these would probably be somewhere in between there, like between Olos and I would say Spectrum Noirs is the cheapest. Again, I can't compare all brands because those are the main three I've got. And I would say the Altenew ones are probably close to Olos, Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, greens. I was like, I don't remember. So yeah, you would just have to, and I'm not going to say like one is better than the other, only because again, that depends on personal preference. Like yeah. Let me zoom out a little bit. I don't need to be so zoomed in now. So that worked. I was able to kind of push out or at least disguise a lot of the spots where I went over. So it works. I'm happy with them so far. Okay. So then for the greens, I'm just going to do, we don't really have any leaves on this. It's more like kind of stemmy portions. So I'm just going to do like that and maybe that and leave it at that. Just kind of keep it, like, again, keep it simple just cause. So we'll just kind of color. I'll even do that just because I can. Just for funsies. Yeah. Okay. And then go in with the next shade. That. And that one. And yeah, people keep asking me that though, and I get it, but like, which ones do you recommend? Olos or Copics or these or Spectrum Art? I do not. I share what I like. If I tried something and I absolutely hated it, I'm just not going to show it. And it's I can't even remember the last time I've ever come across a product that um yeah, the rare times I've come across a product that I was like, "Oh, no, no," like, don't like. I contact the brand and I just tell them. It's like, "I'm sorry, I won't be showing this, like, I will not be using it. I don't like it. Like, I can't get it to work for me." To give them a chance to say like, "Oh, you were probably using it wrong," or, whatever it is. But that is unbelievably rare for me. But I won't. So I just won't promote it. And none of this, just another disclaimer FYI, I am not being paid to promote this. I don't get paid to promote anything. Because if a brand ever was to try and pay me to promote, I won't do it. Um, I've never had any of the crafty brands I work with, none of them have ever asked that. I've had other off brands contact me and offer me money to promote products, and I won't do it. I was like, that's not how I roll. So anyway, I don't like telling people what to do. The only reason I switch around is because I like to play around with different types of coloring mediums. The Copics are technically great. The only issue with Copics is the issues that have been well documented in the last few years with issues with the barrels and there being like hairline cracks. Apparently, it is even addressed on Copic's website now. Like, they are aware of the issues. That is my only beef with them right now, is that they are aware of those issues, but it doesn't seem like they've done anything to correct it. My old Copics that I've had for many, many years, I've never had an issue with. I have had some dry out that I have, that were purchased more in the more recent future, and I've had them dry. I haven't bothered to check to see if that was why. It was because, again, because I have so many coloring mediums, sometimes my markers sit for an unbelievably long time. So it's hard for me to tell, like, oh, is this an actual issue with the marker, or is it because I let things sit forever and haven't touched it? You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not gonna recommend one over the other because it's always personal preference, what is available to a person, what they're curious about, because some people just don't like alcohol marker coloring at all, or or just don't want to even try. Great, that's fine. Don't have to. Totally fine. But again, me, I'm always curious and I always want to get more markers and try things. I get to use the excuse that it's my job. It's my job. I can do what I want. But even if it was my job, I'd be doing the same. I'd be doing the same thing. Just maybe at a bit slower of a pace because I like it. I've always been this way. Like, yeah, I can't help myself, man. I can't help myself. So, yeah, I got issues. It is what it is. That's why I always say welcome to the chaos, because once you start getting into this brain space, it gets a little insane. So this is my ratchet coloring so far. Yeah, it's not awful. It's not awful. It's not the greatest, but it's not awful. Let me try. I'm going to do this one. Just go in my see, it's going to take me a while. Like I said, see, it's going to take me a while to remember. This side is and it does have it on here as well. I just noticed that they are actually shaped differently. That's the brush nib, which is slightly bigger, and then that's the little baby bullet nib. So, yeah. Kimberly. That's me. No alcohol markers, although I do enjoy makers. Exactly. Yeah, like, totally. You know? People have their fortes and what they like, and that's totally great, you know, because it's like, oh, I don't like stamping. I just like die cutting and ink blending. Great, you know, like do what works for you. You don't need all the things. You just don't. Um, ooh, I can use the little bullet nib on since these areas are really small. Yep. This gives me a chance to. The bullet nib is standard. But again, I don't have expectations for this to be anything other than what it is. I can't explain it. Like I've used many different bullet nibs. This is fine. It's great. I'm glad it's part of the marker, you know? That I'm glad that Altenew chose to do this versus because personally, I don't use chisel tips. You guys have like never. I almost never use chisel tips when I'm coloring. I don't like them. That's not how I color. Um so yeah, I'm very glad that we get the bullet nib on her versus um a chisel tip because I wouldn't get use out of a chisel tip and I would be annoyed with it. But the brush tip on these I very much like. Like I'm impressed. Altenew did a good job with this brush tip. I am impressed. Um and then the bullet tip is fine. It's fine. I like it. I like it. I'll use the brush tip for this last little bit. Doop, doop, doop. Do that. Yeah, you know, it works. It works. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Here, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's do this. And then let's do this. There we go. That's better. Now I can actually talk to you guys. Because, yeah. I don't know if this has been shared out. The 12 count sets. Yeah. Yeah, Karen. We did talk about it earlier. But, yeah. What we're calling the alphabet sets. So, this is set L, M, and then the one I'm using right now is set N. Yeah, these don't repeat colors. Yeah, the primary essential set, which there's because Altenew has other like kind of I'll call random sets that seem to have some repeats, but these ones, if you get the alphabet labeled ones, don't, which is good to know because when I was originally looking into this, I was very confused and I was like, which colors are which? Because I didn't want repeats, but then I was like, oh, these don't seem to repeat. It's like, that makes sense. And then there's something else. Oh, here we go. Can you fix dried out markers? No. No. Especially Copics, but any alcohol marker, if it is dried out, it is one thing if a marker is getting low on ink. And you will know when it gets, let me grab a piece of cardstock. And I can't, I don't have an example to show because I don't currently, I might actually. This one. Yeah. Okay. Ha. This is dried out. This marker, I can't say if this is one that, is one of the issues. Possibly. I need to order a replacement. This is dried out. Like, it's dry. It is hard and it's dried out. You cannot fix this. And I wouldn't. It would be a waste of time and effort to try and fix this because it is dried out. If a marker is low on ink and you can tell, like this one, there's nothing, hardly. Like, and the tip is hard. Like, this is rock hard. This marker is done for. I would not even attempt to re-ink or do anything. It is not worth it. It's not worth it. But if a marker is getting low on ink, and you'll generally tell, I can't, because these are brand new. These are not dry. But it's like when you're coloring and it's like very streaky. You know, it's like you're doing this, but it's like very, I wonder if I can like, say I was applying full pressure and it was looking like that. The marker's low on ink, but it's not dry. Then you just need to re-ink it. And which I said earlier, for those that might not have tuned in, because again, this was a bonus. I didn't schedule this. Altenew does have re-inkers, like alcohol, those triangle shaped alcohol ink bottles refill these, which is awesome. And then Copics have re-inkers, Olos have re-inkers, etc. Those you can re-ink, but once they're dried out, you cannot fix them. Don't even try it. It is not worth it, because once it is dried out, like it is dried out like right into the core. This tip is useless. I am going to order a replacement. And the only reason I haven't ordered one yet was because it was sold out. And this is one I use a lot, my R20, my Copic R20. Oh. So I don't know when I purchased this, so I don't know if this is one of the faulty ones that I was talking about earlier, or if I possibly maybe didn't have the lid on all the way. That's the thing with all alcohol markers. Make sure your lids are on fully. But yeah, you can try adding ink to it, but you're just going to waste the ink. It's not going to work. And yes, Katie, I mentioned that. It sucks. Copic markers used to be the absolute gold standard for a lot of years. And they changed things many years ago. This was about 6 to 8 years ago. I forget exactly the timeline because I didn't, they changed something, whether it was manufacturers or I don't know. They changed something. And in that time, since then to now, there have been a lot of complaints. And again, it is addressed right on the Copic website. And them addressing it is really frustrating, because their suggestion is to get new caps, because apparently it's the caps, not the marker base. It's apparently the caps that have an issue. Their suggestion is to get new caps, but you can't buy caps separately. It's the stupidest thing. It's really annoying. And it really sucks, because up until that point, I would have, and I did fully endorse, support Copic markers. Like, I have been using Copic markers for almost 20 years. Some of my markers are more than a decade old. Most of my markers are more than a decade old. Like, I've had them for 10 years and they still work perfectly. I am actually Copic certified. That used to be a thing back in the day. They don't do that anymore. But I am Copic certified. I took the certification class. I know what I'm talking about, But yeah, then things changed, and a lot of things changed with them, and it makes me really sad. And a lot of people have reached out to them to get them to address things properly and to hopefully get them to like change their ways. So it sucks. If you've got old Copics, you know what I mean. Like, they've been wonderful. I feel really bad for the ones, for people that have been having issues, because again, Copics are not cheap. And the price has gone up significantly in the last however many years. Everything's gone up. But you know what I mean? So it's hard to be like, yeah, go get Copics. They're the best. Like, I don't say that. I still love my original Copics. And you see me use them occasionally in videos. But once the issues started, and like over the years, and nothing was addressed, and people are losing money, all the things, that's why I started branching out with other brands and testing other brands and seeing what I liked, because I can't in good conscience promote something that I don't feel is that has the quality behind it, because I don't want to recommend something that is an investment. Like, my Copics were an investment. They were a lot of money, a lot. Like, over the years, especially if you're like me and you need to have all the colors. Again, no one needs all the colors. Can't stress that enough. But I have almost every single color, which is over 300 of them. That's an investment, a big one. And I cannot recommend to people to spend their hard-earned money on something that is not going to last, So then I've tried the Spectrum Noir, which are very cheap. Spectrum Noir are cheap. And I've done many videos. Again, like I said in the beginning, I've got an entire playlist using these. These are cheap. I like them. They're decent little markers. I've had fun with them. I'll still probably occasionally use them. These ones, like, they're tri-blend. So there's 3 in 1. So you've got a dark, a medium, and a light in one marker. That's what I like the most about them, is the convenience. It's like I grab one marker and I have 3 shades in one, you know? And they come in sets. I'm annoyed with how these are labeled and some of their color selections. Like, sometimes, even though there's 3 shades in a marker, I'm just like, who decided this combo? It, silly things like that. And the gray ones have the brush tip that I just showed. The black ones have a fine tip. So that's also kind of annoying. You don't really know until you get the set. That's how I ended up, because I bought these originally not knowing, and I got the set and I was so excited, and then I was like, where's the brush tip? What the heck? And and then the gray ones have the brush tip, the black ones have the fine nib. There's technically refills for these. People have told me there are. I haven't really looked into it, because for me, again, if these were my only markers, then I'd be more invested in, like, making sure there's refills and But again, I grab whatever's convenient, and I like to experiment. And then you get into the Olo markers. Olos are their own little beast, and I will this wasn't part of the video, but you know what? I'm in a chatty mood, and I'll talk with you guys. Olos. Let me get to it. This is how I keep mine stored. It's just a basket. These were the little boxes that came in the box. And Olo markers come like this. Let me do this. And this. And that's it. Okay. We don't need to, like... Okay. So, the thing with Olo markers is they come like this. It's a half marker in size. The difference between, and I can't 100% speak to this, but I assume, because I'm not going to, like, cut one of these in half, I assume that, let me grab this one, that these 3 are very similar internally, because inside Copics, it's like a tube of felt, basically. This is the easiest way to describe it, is as a tube, and that's what's holding all the ink. And then the nibs, which are very long, go into that, and they're touching that tube. And then the marker flows. That's how that works. So it's like a felt piece inside the marker. These, I'm pretty sure, do the same thing. And I'm assuming kind of Altenew's is kind of the same, that there's that, like, tube of felt. I'm assuming. I cannot speak for certain, because I wasn't planning on going this deep into a review. This was supposed to just be a first impression. So if I'm incorrect and Altenew corrects me, great. But I just kind of assume, because that's generally how most markers work anyway, is they have that, like, little tube inside. So that's fine. I say all that because Olos do not have that. The inside here, and they show it on their website, it's just a chamber full of ink, which means 2 things. Olos have roughly twice as much ink. If I was to connect this into one full marker, there's more than twice as much ink in this than there is in this. So that's like a cost benefit thing. But because it's like that, because it's a chamber of ink and not that tube, ink flows faster to the nibs because of it. And that's what we refer to when we're saying, like, Olo markers are juicy. It flows more free. So these take a little more to get used to. It was one of the reasons I held off on these, because I just wasn't sure, and then I was hearing a lot of good things, and I was like, I got curious, and then again, they come like this, but they do come with connectors. So the concept is you can connect, it just screws on, and then you can just go like this. And then you've got a full marker. And in this case, I've got 2 different shades on one marker. This is why I have not connected mine, because I don't want them like that. You can get a set of chisel nibs in the same colors, and theirs are gray. The barrels are gray, so you immediately know which is which. But like I said earlier, I don't like chisel nibs. I don't want to use them. And I've heard through the grapevine that Olo is going to be releasing fine, like bullet nibs. That is what I want. So if and when they do that, then I'll get those and connect them so that I'll have a brush nib on one side, a bullet nib on the other. Perfection. So I got that. And then Olo's refills come just like this. They come basically as this. And then instead of a brush nib, it's got like a little cap. So then all you technically do is you take this brush nib out and you stick it in a new one and you're good. That's all you have to do. So you're not having to sit and drip ink and do all the things. So there's differences between the brands. And it's just up to the individual to say like, hey, this is what interests me or what I want to get into, or I don't want it. Like, there's too much. It's too much. Rah. Then don't. So I haven't connected mine because I like keeping them like I showed. I just keep them in a little basket because then that way they're all face up and I can see the color names at a glance. That's what works for me. And then I color like you guys see me color with them and it's been fine. I'm okay with it. I'm weird. I don't care. I don't care is what it is. So yeah, that's basically the differences between the markers. Do I had, oh wait, I do have one. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I have one. This was in like a little grab bag or something. Here's one with a chisel nib. This is a connected. So we got the brush nib. It's V0.4 and then the chisel nib. I will say their chisel nib is nice. It's smaller than a Copic. There's a Copic chisel nib. So it's a little smaller and finer than the Copic one. But again, I don't color with chisel. Like for me, this is useless. I will not use it because I just do not, hardly ever. I prefer these types of brush nibs. The Olo brush nibs are great. Love them. Love them. Copic brush nibs are great. Love them when they're not dried out. They're great. Spectrum Noir brush nibs are decent. They're not the greatest. This is not the same quality as what you would get in a Copic or an Olo. And that was my first impression with the Altenew. Altenew's nibs, I will say from my first impression today, is comparable to Copic and Olo. Whatever material they've used for this is not the same as this. This one is more of a felt, and those that have used these for a really long time will know what I mean. If you apply too much pressure and over time, this one is going to split. It just will because it's a very cheap nib. These are cheaper markers. It just is what it is. I haven't had that happen, but these are not my main markers. I don't use them that often, and I do use a lighter hand because I know that if you really keep pressing, in fact, I'm not sure if I can show it. Just wait. Again, because I do have one extra marker because I don't want to wreck stuff on camera. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this one, but I have, again, this is a double. But yeah, I would have to do this for a while. This one's actually really juicy. Yeah, you would have to apply a lot of pressure, use it for a long time. These will eventually split. It's just the nature of this type of, it's like more felt like the Spectrum Noir ones. Whereas these ones are more of a foam type consistency. Like this nib is very similar. This nib is very similar to an Olo nib. In fact, it's a little bit softer. Olo's nibs are a bit firmer. Olos are a bit firmer. Altenews are a bit softer. Not, most people probably wouldn't care. Let me get a Copic that's not dried out. Copics are quite, this one is, there we go. Getting a marker on me. Copic and Olo nibs are very similar. I would say Altenews is a teensy bit softer, but it's, yeah. But it's still like a similar quality of material. It's not like the Spectrum Noir. That's, yeah. Yeah. So let me get a little bit. Because I got alcohol marker on my fingers, which is sticky and that annoys me. A little bit hand sanitizer. I have Copic markers and I like them. I haven't had any problems with them. That's great. That is great. I still have all my Copic markers. I am not gonna get rid of them. And the majority of mine are fine. I have had just a few occasional ones that have completely dried out. And like I said, I do not know if it's because of the issues they've been having or if it's because some of my markers sit for insanely long amounts of time because it depends on what I'm coloring, and because I have multiple methods and mediums, some of my markers sit for a really long time. So I cannot say with certainty that it was like, oh, I got a dud, the lid was, it's another cracked one, like this is all Copic's fault. Or with this one, it might most likely actually is, because this is a color that I do use quite often. But there are other colors that sometimes when I'm doing, I need a specific color and it's like, oh, I haven't used this marker in literal years. So then I'm not surprised when I open it up and it's like dried out, But yeah. Okay. That's kind of my random review. My random review, and including somewhat of a marker comparison. Again, it is up to personal preference. I am happy with, there we go. Let's get that out of the way. I am happy with these Altenew alcohol markers. I like them. I do like them. I am probably going to try to get more of the sets so that I have more colors to play with. I'll talk for a bit longer just because, again, I'm curious. Let's use some colors. Let's put these back in their own container. I would like to have more colors, and again, do I need them? Do I need them? No, I do not. So this is now, I'm using the Firewood Garden set. So let's do a little bit more. Ooh, these colors are pretty. Yeah. And yes, as far as how long they last, or if they last longer than water-based markers, honestly, as long as lids are kept on properly, they can last a very long time. Again, I have had a lot of my alcohol markers for many years. Copics are the ones I've had the longest, because for the longest time, they were the only ones on the market for the most part. Olos I've only had for a year. I forget when I first got them. Not quite a year, so I can't comment. Altenew, I've only had these for a few months. Spectrum Noir I've had for, I would have to go back and check my videos to see when I first started posting with them. It's been a couple years. Are they meant to last forever? No. Especially with a solvent like alcohol as a base. Like that's also why you want to keep the lid. Like make sure the lids are on. Yeah. They're not meant to last forever. Will they last longer than water-based markers? That's kind of apples to oranges. You can't, and I won't. Same with because when people want like, well, how do these work compare next to like watercolor markers? You are comparing apples to oranges. Totally different mediums, totally different methods, totally different substrates that you use them on. It's there, you cannot compare. Like it, yeah, yeah. But unlike a lot of things, when it comes to craft supplies, some stuff is not worth collecting, you know? Um, in the sense of like, oh, well, then I'll get it now and then I can use it when I retire in 10 years. That sort of a thing, you know? That can work for paper, stamps, wafer dyes, ribbon, you know, those sorts of products. Don't need to worry about it. But anything water-based or alcohol-based, it's all got a shelf life, you know? So use it. Some things will last longer than others, and there's also an exception to everything, you know? Some people will have a product that dries out super quickly. It like just doesn't last for them. That could depend on their climate. Other people have had things for eons. You know, it's like I have had this product, these markers for 15 years and they work wonderfully. You know, it all depends on so many things, you know? And my philosophy is just don't expect anything um with a sort of like liquid base. So, inks, ink pads, pastes, etc. Don't expect them to last forever. But again, there's always exceptions to that. Ink pads can last an unbelievably long amount of time. Because again, if you keep the lids on them, whether you're using them and re-inking them and yada yada yada, but they can still last for like I have some ink pads that I have had for so many years, I don't even remember how long I've had them, you know, and they still work great. And I don't expect them for anything to happen to them as long as I keep the lids on when I'm not using them. And I have never, with dye-based inks, I've never had any dry out. The only ink I've ever had actually dry, like ink pad, not markers, anything. The only ink I've ever had dry out were the chalk inks that we used to have that they don't even make anymore. That company doesn't even exist anymore. Those dried out on me. And some pigment inks, because it's a different type of formulation. The ink pad is a foam. It's just, they're different. I've had pigment inks pads dry out, but again, some of them were like years old, you know? But yeah, other than that, I've never had an ink pad. Like regular ink pads, some of them I have had for years and years and years, and they work fine. But paste, yeah. Pastes are not something you hoard. Doesn't matter what brand. Don't hoard your pastes. Those will dry out, even in the container, even factory sealed. They have a shelf life. Some can still last for years. I have shown in videos me using paste that I was like, I think I bought this 10 years ago. I don't even remember. It still works. What the heck? You know? But that's like just a dumb coincidence. And then I did a video. It was one of my Halloween videos, like last year or the year before, I forget. And I had used a paste in it that was really, really old, like really old, that was drying up as I was using it in the video. And I was scrambling to make it work. And it literally physically hardened as I was using it. It was insane. And I barely got the cards done. But it was just, I wasn't surprised. Because again, the paste was old, like so old. So yeah, don't hoard your paste. Um, Yeah, some ink pads will technically last for years and years and years and years. Again, if they're as long as they're closed, um, yeah, some of them will last for years. I don't worry too much about my ink pads because again, I keep the lids on, you know, and I have my re-inkers and I'm good to go. But yeah, just like anything, if it's got like a liquid consistency, just don't expect it to last forever. This coloring is not very good. I'm kind of just making an absolute mess. This is kind of crappy, but whatever. Whatever. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I remember that paste drying so fast. Yeah, it was bizarre. I wish I could have like really like if you guys could, it was nuts. I could feel it as I was like trying to get it out of the container near the end of it. I was like, oh my god, like scraping it out and just trying to get it down, and it was just hardening. But it was an ancient. I had it for years, so I honestly didn't care, and I got use out of it. Like I got like 2 cards I think out of it, and then had to throw the rest of the container out because it was done for. It was done for. So yeah, it's just yeah, don't collect paste. You know, use it, play with it, have fun with it. Just don't hoard it because they will not last forever. You can do extra things to make them last longer. You know, use the press and seal. More recently, Tim Holtz shared the rubber band trick, which would have been in his, I think it was the Halloween hoopla when he first showed it. I think it was that video. A specific type of rubber band that works around the edges of the paste jar to keep it more sealed, because air is the enemy of all these products. You know, if I left the lid off this marker and went about my day and came back to this tomorrow, I fully expect it to be completely or mostly dried out because, again, it's alcohol based. So I would not expect it to last if I left the lid off. But as long as you make sure that the lids are, you know, you hear that click. And that's what all the markers have that. They have that little click. You just make sure the lids are on. Generally, that should be enough. It's only Copic that has that weird issue with newer markers. Have not had that issue with the older ones. It's annoying. I'm just kind of going back and forth with this. My coloring, like I said, isn't the greatest. I kind of don't care. I'm just playing. Yeah, broccoli bounds. That's what the like technical term of those. I know Simon Says Stamp is carrying them in smaller quantities. They're probably sold out. That's why I haven't been like talking about it or anything, because they sold out because, again, Tim Holtz recommended it. This flower is not turning out very nice because I should have done lightest to darkest, and also I'm busy yapping and not really paying attention. Meh. I don't really care. This was for funsies. It's all for funsies. So, yeah. It's all just is what it is, you know? But yeah, I say all that because I don't get it very often on my end because most people just know and, you know, but I do see it online here and there and people getting really upset that XYZ product, you know, they opened it and it was dry and then they're mad at the brand, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, you had that sitting for years, you know? It's different when it's like brand new. You know, you just order, there's a difference. You know, if you order something and it's brand new and you open it and it's dried out, then yes, contact the brand because weird things happen, you know? And you contact the brand and hopefully they will rectify that, you know, and make it right. Because it can happen. But in general, you know, because like people are just like, then why would they make the product if it's not going to last? You know, and it's like, it's a paste. It's a paste. It is a water-based paste. It is not meant to last forever. It's not. That's not how this works. Hopefully that makes sense. I could rant about everything all the time. All the time. Should I use the same? Yeah, I'm going to use the same combo for the centers because that just works. That just works. So I'll keep yapping for a bit. I enjoy talking to you guys. Who'da thunk? I love listening to the sound of my own voice. Yep. 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 Okay. Just keep doing my thing, man. Just we'll just make it work. Oh, I missed a spot on that one too. Okay. Where's the darkest shade? Right there. Doop 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 doop. And go right in there and in there. Oh, that's something else people ask. And I did a video 2 days ago. I put out a lot of content. I was using my Olo markers, but it applies with this too. I was coloring a very detailed image. It was a Picket Fence Studios image, and there was very fine, tiny little areas. And it was asked in the comments. I already responded to it, but they're like, "How do you color those narrow areas with these nibs?" Because so it applies to Altenew. It works with the Copics. It works with the Olos. It kind of works with the Spectrum Noir. Again, I use very light pressure because these come to a nice point. You see, like just that is a very fine point. So when I have to color a really narrow little area, I sometimes will have the marker almost straight up and down, and I'm just using just the very tip of the marker. Because if I'm pressing, but if you barely use any pressure, I can get in there and do very fine little tiny areas. And a lot of times I am going outside the lines. You just can't really see it on camera, but I'll be, and then I'll just color other spots to fix it. I don't worry about it too much, But that's also where it's nice to have little bullet nibs to color in, because you don't have to have as much pressure. And that's why I was really glad that the Altenew markers have the bullet nibs. So if I have a small image that I'm coloring, I can just use these and like do. That's how I do it. So yeah. Oh, Geraldine, yeah. Whether people get a notification or not, this was totally, I didn't give anyone a heads up. I was just like, I'm gonna go live. Click. Other than I put the links with the description. That was the only prep work I did today. This was just a complete impromptu. Like, I feel like coloring for a bit, and I don't want to do, like, I didn't want to film it because I wasn't planning on making this into anything. I just wanted to color, so I was like, I'll just go live and chat with the peoples. So yeah, today is just randomness. And thanks for the engagement, whoever gave me a thumbs down. Happens every video. I genuinely don't care. I don't care. I find it funny, and I felt like being petty for a second. Yeah. I forget where I was. What was I going on about? Oh, the fine tip. So yeah, I'm liking these markers. For those that are big Altenew fans, because there's people have their niches, and it's like, I like this product line, like this brand. I like this brand. I like all the brands. You know what I mean? For people that are big Altenew fans, so you've got a lot of their inks and their products and things. Yeah, you'll and you want to do alcohol markers. Heck yeah, I would go and try out their alcohol marker, because then you've got that consistency in color. I am liking that. Now, does everything need to match all the time? No. That is something I still to this day fight against with, because it was when I first got into stamping. I've talked about this before. I don't remember where, but I have talked about this in the past. But when I first got into stamping, the one main brand was very big on, like, everything had to match exactly. Like, the ink had to match, the cardstock had to match, the ribbon had to, like, it all had to match exactly. And if it didn't match exactly, did people get upset, because they were trained, in a sense. They were gaslit, really. They were gaslit into, like, it has to be exact Otherwise, the world is on fire and everything doesn't work. And I was part of it. I fully was in that because it was like, well, if it doesn't match, it's not going to work. And then as I branched out and started doing things, and it was like, things do not need to match exactly. They don't. They don't. It really stifles the creativity when things have to be exact. All that to say, I do enjoy the fact that Altenew has a lot of coordinating products. I still have found ways though, like specifically something like their enamel dots. I love that they have them in their like color collection, so they match the inks, yada yada yada. But I don't have them all. I don't. I've only got like a handful. And I kind of mix and match and just fudge it. I was like, this color's close enough. It's not the same as the ink color. Who cares? You know? So I do like having some coordinating colors. And I do like that the Altenew markers are in the same color families as their inks, but they don't have to, I hopefully that makes sense, I like the matchy, but at the same time, I don't even 100% expect the colors to be exact. I'm not, because I'm not going to do it, but I'm just curious now. So this is strawberry ink, which is a very light ink, very light. And then where's the strawberry marker? Is this strawberry? I want to make sure I have the right actual marker. No, that's not strawberry. This is strawberry. This is strawberry. Okay. Damn, they did good. It's not the exact same. This needs to dry though. This needs to dry, but it's close. Is it exact? No, but it's close. Because what? Water-based dye ink, alcohol. Give me 1 second. I have a person texting me that I actually need to respond to. Sorry, this is important. they okay. Anyway, I'll have to go in a bit. I got stuff to deal with. Sorry. Important things pop up. um. Okay, I just want to go back through. Okay. Yes, we've discussed this concept often. It's clearly inhibitive of being artistic. Okay, back to my rant about things having to be matchy-matchy. I agree with that it is inhibitive. At the same time, though, I will concede to, for a lot of people, I gotta word this probably because I don't want to be a jerk. Because sometimes I think saying that they don't need to be matchy and it's making you less creative. I don't want to come across like that. Not that anyone's saying I am, but it is nice having coordinating colors across different types of products. So because I'm using Altenew markers, I will use Altenew as the example. Other brands have similar things. Having inks, markers, cardstock, which is newer to the Altenew line, enamel dots, etc. Having all these products in the same, technically, there's always going to be variations, but the same colors, while it can be stifling in some ways of creativity because, you know, you're just at the same time for a lot of people, and even ones like me that, you know, I'm a professional. I always, when I say that in my voiceovers, I'm literally like using air quotes, and you guys can't just see me saying that, but I'm always like, I'm a professional. Um, it can be, especially for those that are newer, for people that struggle with color combos or just struggle matching colors, that makes it a lot easier. And even for me sometimes, because there are times where I'm just like not feeling it, you know? I don't feel like pulling different colors across. It's like, oh, I can just grab a quad, you know, of the, and it's like, I got colors that work together. Light, medium, medium, dark, dark. Done. And then it's like, ooh, they've got cardstock that matches. I can pull that out and use it, you know? So for that, I do love it. I do. Like when Altenew released the cardstock, I was like, crap. Which it's all, there it is. There it is. All piled up in a basket behind me because I have nowhere to put it. I love it. You know? So my big thing though is there ain't nothing wrong with the matchy and having it in a product line. I just don't want people to like fully depend on it. You know, try to branch out a bit. But at the same time, if that's where you're comfortable and it brings you joy to have 4 ink pads and 4 markers and 4 colors of cardstock that are all the same or as close to be as possible, great. Great. You know, if that makes you more comfortable, because sometimes it is overwhelming. You know, it's for some, they just don't, their brain doesn't work that way. You know, everyone comes at it a different way. I still firmly, I'm going on such a side rant, but whatever, I don't care. Everyone is creative. Everyone. I 100% believe that to my core, that everyone has some form of creativity. They just need to find what it is to bring it out, whether it's card making, painting, cross stitch, crochet, making model figures, video games, like so many, there's a bajillion ways out there to express said creativity, you know? And that's the beauty of it all. Because if we were all doing the same darn thing with the same darn colors, with the same exact mediums, it would be so boring. But everyone's got creativity, you know? And if your creativity is having coordinating colors across a very specific product line, and that's how you like to sit and make your projects, do it. Do it. Because if it makes you happy, that's all that matters, man. Really. Whatever brings you joy. Who cares what this random professional YouTuber is saying? Who cares? Who cares what she thinks? What I think, it don't matter. So hopefully that makes sense. That's something that's been playing in my head a lot. And I hope it gets through to those that need to hear it. That, you know, just do what works for you and what brings you joy. You know, whether it's watercoloring, whether you just prefer to ink blend, you think alcohol markers are just not in your wheelhouse and never will be, that's totally fine. You know? I just wish they would sell the new cardstock in a variety pack. Contact them. I know other people I think have suggested that. Contact Altenew and just let them know that. I wouldn't be surprised if they would eventually offer a variety pack, you know? Because when there's demand for something, the vast majority of brands will try and make it work. And a variety pack is great. I love that too, especially when it's like newer. To get a variety pack, because then I can be like, ooh, especially with cardstock, I like variety packs, you know, and then I can be like, okay, I don't have this color, I don't have this color. Oh, I have a color that's very similar to this one, so I don't need to order that right now. I'll still probably get it, you know, but I like variety packs. I always, if I'm curious, like I did that when Concord 9th released their cardstock. That was the first thing I got, was a couple variety packs to compare to what I had, and then I could fill out my color line. I've done that with a lot. I get the Lawn Fawn variety packs. I have so much cardstock, it's insane. Altenew, I have the full packs, but if I was just purchasing and not designing with them and getting stuff sent to me, 100%. That's the first thing I would have been wanting was a variety pack. So let them know. I know Altenew listens. All these brands that I work with, they listen to customer feedback. And yeah, it's like, hey, we would like this. Sometimes certain things are either just not feasible or can be something that needs to be worked on. You never know. They might be planning it. I can't speak for them, you know? But yeah, if people ask and yeah, when you give just nice feedback and it's like, hey, I would really love XYZ, whatever it is with whichever brand, um, they do listen, or at least, and then they try to incorporate it. Because sometimes things might just be a logistics issue. Different. Yeah, because sometimes people will tell me certain requests, and I was like, dude, that's never going to happen. But it depends on the request. But things like a variety pack, I think that can be done. I think it would be, there's a variety pack of their cozy colors. Yeah, but that was for the specific cozy comfort retreat. That was the retreat I taught at. Just FYI, for those that don't know. But they have a lot more colors than what was just part of the retreat. And yeah, maybe I could see them down the road having some variety packs. That would be great. And I would still probably purchase those too, because I'm always curious, and I still have to like organize mine, and I'm like, am I missing any colors? Because I got to organize all of mine and then see which ones I might be missing so I can order them. So yeah. Yeah, Katie, I think it's just a grouping of full packs. Because yeah, they come in packs of 10 sheets of cardstock. And so the bundles, I think, are just bundles of the full packs. They're wonderful cardstock. I do love them. I do. Again, did I need them? No. But they're pretty colors. They're pretty colors. I'm awful. I'm awful. I'm awful. I can't help it. So, okay. Did I They have so many colors of the paper. Oh yeah, because Altenew has a lot of colors. They have a lot. They have a lot of ink colors. It's well over 100. I think closer to like. I know what I have. I can count, and it's a lot. Um, there's over 160 of the fresh dye inks. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot, and there's gonna be more. Do you need them all? No. No, you don't. Did I need them all? No. No, I didn't. But is what it is. Is what it is. Choose what appeals to you. You know? You don't need all the things. You just don't. Um diddly diddly do. What GSM or pound weight are they? It varies. With the Altenew cardstock specifically, it does vary, and it's listed with each color. It varies by color. When we get into, we're completely going after this. I can't be on here much longer. I got stuff I need to deal with. But when it comes to cardstock and cardstock manufacturing, it is a very how do you word this? There are not very many paper mills. In fact, there's only like one or two, I think, in North America, like actual paper mill that make it. And then there's one or two in Europe, I think. There's not very many because it's a big process, and it varies. Just the formula when making paper, like with color, changes things, and it just is what it is. So with Altenew's cardstock, the concept was to get them in colors that match their ink line. And then to do that, some of the weight varies. It's not drastic, you know, it's not drastic, but they are a lighter weight. I mentioned that in a couple previous videos. They average around the 80-pound weight, which isn't super lightweight, but it's not your like heavy duty, you know, 110-pound card base weight. Personally, I genuinely like that they're lighter weight. At first, when they first released it, I was like, dude, why? Why lighter weight? You know? But specifically talking Altenew, when you're like working with like their layering die sets, which some of those layers with a die set is like 7 layers. It's a lot. I'm so glad the cardstock is lighter weight, because then I can do my layers and I don't end up with a card that's like this thick, because that was getting like driving me nuts with some, because a lot of the cardstock I work with is very heavyweight, which I love. I love it for card bases and for basic die cut sentiments, you know, that sort of thing. But when I'm doing layer after layer after layer after layer, I was like, and it was driving me insane, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, my card is literally like this thick, and it was annoying me. So I like the lighter weight. Personally, I do like it. There seems to not be a standard across the world for measuring these things, which kind of matters to makers. Yes, but I can't. Yeah, because we've got multiple major manufacturers and many industries, because these paper mills are not manufacturing just for card makers. We are just a small slice of the pie. You know, they are manufacturing for so many different industries. So many different industries, you know. The print industry is huge, all the different things. So, and yeah, I do wish there was kind of just a one set standard specifically with paper that just applied, yeah, across. Because yeah, when you're getting into like GSM and pound weight and all and the size, blah, 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 it's all over the place. It is, and it is annoying. And because again, 99% of us are shopping online because you can't get stuff locally. It is frustrating. It really is. And that's why, but honestly, some of the times when I do get a dud, obviously Altenew's not, but I've ordered random, it's usually white cardstock that I've ordered online. And I'm like, it sounds super heavyweight. Whoa. And then I get it and I'm like, this is hot garbage. I will not use it. Like, it's thin and flimsy and crappy. Those ones that's what I cut down to put in front of my cards when I mail them. Because people ask me that, because when I have a bunch of embellishments and everything's bumpy and they're like, what do you do? I stick a piece of cardstock on top of my card base and then stick it in the envelope. And that extra piece of cardstock just helps kind of smooth everything out a bit. And that's what I use my crappy cardstock for. It's the stuff that it's either too lightweight or it's just crap cardstock, because I've got some that it's like I would try to stamp on it or ink blend, and I'm like, what is this hot garbage? You know, it's like, okay, I will never use this cardstock. That's how I use it. And it protects my cards. So, okay. I think that's all of my random yappings and my bit of coloring. Oh, let me quickly finish this and then I gotta go. I didn't finish. I got distracted with all my yapping. Let me take this one. So, first impression. I like these markers. I do. I most likely, just knowing me and the way I am, I most likely am going to try to get some of the other sets, because I've only got the 3 and I would like more colors. But yeah, they're decent little markers. I like them. They are, and hopefully you guys will see them in future videos. Like, yeah, I'm content. I don't regret purchasing the sets that I purchased at all. I don't regret it. Yeah. I think they're nice. And I like the colors. I am going to need to like swatch them and all the things too. Add that to the list. I have so many things to swatch. It's not even funny. Just add it to the list of what I gotta do. Is that the right color? Nope. Amy, get these. That one belongs with that set. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, there's all my random thoughts and rants. This is what happens when I go live unannounced. But yeah, this will stay up just like always, the links to what specific, like this stuff, the links to these 3 sets, and then this was the coloring thingy was from this. Those are in the description box. I posted the links so you can find them. And then everything else, you can just search it up or whatever. And yeah, I'm happy with it. Add that to list of never-ending things and not enough hours in the day. Yep. That is my life in a nutshell. Haven't yet figured it out. You know, I've been too busy working. I haven't, been able to like crack the code of how to clone myself, because that would be perfect. It wouldn't be perfect for anyone else. In fact, it would probably cause like the apocalypse if I managed to clone myself, but it would be nice. I would get so much more done. But yeah, that's my random thoughts. Like I said, this will stay up. I'm still planning on going live, like my normal lives. On Sundays we go live 2 p.m. Central. Yes, 2 p.m. Central on Sundays. That's the plan. That will be a proper card project of some sort. As of right this moment, I have no idea what I'm going to make. I've got all kinds of ideas bouncing around. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I literally wasn't really expecting. I thought I would legit be just talking to myself the whole time. Yeah, it's still odd to me that people have like their notifications turned on and tune in when I go live. I'm just like, really? Really? You like me? You really like me? I need more sleep. Anyway. But yeah. But would the clones fight over who gets to do the fun craft? So, exactly. It would just, in theory, me being able to clone myself would be great. In practice, probably would be a very bad thing. And I would probably want to just like the other versions of myself, like I am well aware of my faults. Well aware always of my faults. So yeah, just is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing my little bit of coloring, and I'll be doing more as always. I have no idea, even like they are going to stay in their boxes. I don't know where I'm going to put them. I'm out of space. I'm not kidding when I say I need a bigger boat. I'm out of space. But oh well, it's a inconvenience and not a horrible thing. It just is what it is. And yeah, I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you guys either tomorrow or just in a later video, whatever you're able to catch up on. You never know. I was gonna say I might have a video coming later today. I don't promise that. I got a lot going on, and I'm not sure how much editing I'm gonna get done. Cause yeah, don't worry. There are always other people to tell you of your faults. Oh, I get told of them constantly. I hear them in the comments on many of my videos. People don't like my face. People don't like my voice. People don't like what I'm doing. Different things, or people literally tell me to my face what they don't like about me. I don't care. I'm well aware. I'm not a perfect person. That's for sure. I am flawed. So flawed. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. And the things I can work on, I do. So that's all my randomness and ranting. And last bit, because that I just saw that, and I will answer that because I do get asked that one. Diana, do you have to click on each affiliate link product for you to get credit? No. I talk about this, but again, not everyone watches all my content. Oh, shame on you. I'm kidding. When it comes to affiliate links, and I try to be as open and honest and transparent, because it's like the law as far as I'm concerned. It is in the US. I am Canadian for those that aren't aware, but it's like the law, and it should be always very transparent, like when an affiliate link is used, because all an affiliate link means is that, but even before I explain what it is, treat every link you see someone share as an affiliate link. Always be cognizant of that if someone is sharing, whether it's a card making video or just anything, beauty, whatever it is, whatever someone is sharing, whether it's a photo or something, and they're providing links to whatever it is, whether it's something used or something being promoted or whatever, always just assume it's an affiliate link. And all an affiliate link means is that if someone clicks on that link and then orders, the person who shared said link gets a percentage of that. For myself, I can speak for myself specifically and most other card makers, because I can't speak for everyone. But for the most part, when it is an affiliate link, there is no added cost. So if the product is $20 retail anywhere, with the affiliate link, it is still $20. It's not $22 or $25. You know what I mean? There's no extra add-on, because if that was the case, I wouldn't use them. There's no way. Because that's nasty. I've never heard of that happening, but I like to make that very, very clear, because there's other genres out there. Affiliate links have been around for many, many, many years nowadays, and who knows? And people don't disclose, or they lie about it, or whatever, and that pisses me off. But no extra added cost ever is supposed to happen. And then technically, so let's use this example. You like this set, and you want to get this set. So you click on my link in the description for these markers, and then you want to get 5 other products, whatever it is, whether it's specifically this stuff, but it's like, oh no, I want to get some cardstock, and you fill your cart. You only need to click on one of my links, and technically the theory is I get a percentage of that order. I get a little kickback, and that's it. But let's say you want specifically, just because they're here, and this is what I've linked to. I have these 3 links, and then I have this linked. And let's say you wanted to get all of it. You wanted to get all 3 and this. You do not need to click on each thing. You can click on one, and then it's like, because a lot of times, suggested items, it's like, oh, comparable things from this brand or whatever will be on the storefront. You know what I mean? And it's like, add that to cart, add that to cart. Oh, I forgot, I want white cardstock. Add that. I get credit because it's basically, I'm the one that brought you there. I brought you to the store. So I get the credit for it. So you don't need to click. As long as you click on one, it works. So that's how it works. Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah. That's the your transparency on this topic has always been readily stated at the start of every video. Most of my videos, yes. In the last, I'm not sure how long, I try to verbally state that. And then I have it in my description boxes. I still need to update my website to properly have stuff. And then I talk about it openly. I know for some of you that watch a lot of my content, I am being very repetitive and annoying. I know. It's annoying. I am repetitive with it, but I will not stop being repetitive about it, because I think it's important that people are just aware that because it's an affiliate link, in that alone to me makes me does give me a little bit of bias, because I do make something from it. So I think it is only right that I'm honest about that, and that I'm transparent and open about it, that it's like, hey, I do get a little something if you decide to order. So I'm not completely 100% unbiased, because I am affiliated with those links. So I try to make that really, really clear, because that is very important to me. I've put way too many years and so much time and effort into building my platform, all the things from when I first started, way before affiliate links were a thing. Way before any of it was a thing. None of this existed when I first started my blog. None of this existed when I first started my YouTube channel, all of it. But integrity and reputation means something to me. And there's always going to be those that are going to say whatever random crap they want to say about me, and that I don't care. That's fine. But yeah, because I take that seriously, because again, while we are all adults, because I don't market to children. I don't at all. We are all adults, you know, so I'm not promoting anything to kids because that's a whole other line that I refuse to cross. Um, I still want to be honest about it because it's like, I don't want to say, like, oh, these are the most amazing thing ever. Go buy it. Woo. And deep down, I actually think they're crap or whatever. And it's like, people are going to go spend their hard earned money on it. And I lied to them. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at night. And while these are crafting products, you know, this isn't like, that's another line I won't. This is why I stick to crafting. I don't promote health and wellness. It's a lot of things. And I could, trust me, I could. The amount of offers I get for sponsored crap is insane. Daily, multiple times a day. So many things I could be promoting to people because brand owners outside this space see my numbers, yada yada yada, and they want, you know, they want to take advantage of that. And if I wanted to be an unethical person and just make those dollar bills, y'all, I could start promoting some really sketchy crap. But and sometimes the monetary offers are kind of unbelievable. Like some of the things that I have turned down, it hurts to turn them down because I was like, that's a lot of money. But I ain't gonna do it. And I'm not saying this to be like, I'm such a saint. I'm so amazing. I'm so much better because I am honest. I'm so honest. I just want to be transparent. Because again, they're crafting products, but I don't want people spending their money just because it's like, oh, Amy said it was great, so I'm gonna buy it. And then, so I try not to be like, you must go buy this. It's like, this is what I like. This is what I think. I do have an affiliate link. If you decide to buy it, I'd appreciate if you use it, but you don't have to. You don't have to. So there's my other rant on all of it. And I do appreciate, you know, those that use my links and those that don't at all. You know, they don't use my links or they just can't, you know, you can't afford it. You're not spending any money. That's okay. That is okay. You know, those that can't, because I do every once, and I only say this because there are people that reach out to me and they're like, I can't, I don't have a budget right now. I can't buy things, you know, I can't support you in that way. And that is okay. Just watching my videos, hitting a thumbs up, leaving comments, I appreciate that. It does help. I mean that when I say that at the end of my videos, which is also repetitive. I know. But when I say thank you and that I mean it, I do. Because it does. It tells the stupid robot overlords, the algorithms that run my entire career. That's a whole other side rant. I'm not getting into it. It just tells them you like what you see. And it helps. So for those that aren't, you know, going to shop all the things, hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment. Just watching. It helps. It helps. And I appreciate it. So, yeah. I hope that explains all of the things. I don't regret that. That I do not regret. People do need multiple pairs of reverse tweezers. It's true. Literally. And that is my lived experience. I legit, when I only had one pair of reverse tweezers, dude, they disappeared all the time. It drove me insane. And then once I got multiple pairs, it's been great. It's been great. And I have backups. I keep about 3 or 4 right on my desk that I use. You guys see me use them in all my videos. And then I have a drawer of like just backup tools or, you know, tools we don't use very often or anywhere, like the crocodile, like things that I almost never use, but I refuse to get rid of. It's like my junk drawer, and it's just extra tools I don't use very often, but I refuse to get rid of because they come in handy once in a blue moon, and then extra reverse tweezers. So that one I don't regret promoting and telling people. That's one of the very few things where I've told people directly, like, you need more than one pair. You do. You do. Thankfully they're pretty cheap, and sometimes they go on sale. So that's usually when I really tell people. I was like, dude, they're on sale. Get extra pairs, you know, that sort of a thing. So yeah, it always helps. So that is one of the caveats to me saying you don't need all the things except for reverse tweezers. You need multiples. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta respond to some texts and deal with some things. Appreciate you all for popping in on this random live and me coloring and being silly and whatever. And I will talk to you guys either tomorrow's live at 2 p.m. Central or in another video. You know, we'll see what happens. Today was just fun little bits of chaos, and I really appreciated hanging out with you guys. And I couldn't find my reverse tweezers, so now I want to Simon. Exactly. Yeah, they do. They grow, and you'll find them in the stupidest place. I did find my web stencil. You guys, I like to talk. I talked about that in a bunch of videos. There was one specific spider web background stencil I lost like a month ago. I found it. And it was exactly what I had said. It was in a random pile of things that it did not belong in, but I did find it. That watercolor paper, though, that I'd cut down, that I still haven't found it. But I am a disorganized mess, so I'm not surprised. And I have backup. Certain things like watercolor paper, my basics, I have a lot of backup because I do this as a job. But I still haven't found it. And I don't even want to know what utterly stupid place I'm going to find it in. It's going to be somewhere dumb. And I'll be like, what were you thinking? Because that's always what it is. My brain just shuts off and I'm just like, putting things away or piling it up in some other random pile, not thinking, and then I can't find it for a month. So still haven't. No, last day I did not find the watercolor paper. I cut down more. Cut down a whole other pack. The Canson XL watercolor paper that I use. I have multiples. I have backups of this. I cut down a whole other pack, and it sits on my desk. The other pack, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it went. No idea. It's going to be somewhere. Other times I've literally found it like between stamp sets, and it was like, and I was just like, you go into like auto mode and it's like, I'm just not thinking, and I'll, slip it in, and then I don't find it until I go to that stamp section, flipping through for something else. And it's like, I assume that's where it is. I still haven't found it. And I've dug through so many. Anyway. Okay. That's it. Does that mean we might get a random bonus Halloween video midwinter? Honestly, you never know. Do not be surprised if I post a Halloween video in the next month or so. I do have some ideas, and I didn't get to all the products either. I haven't been in the mood, though. Halloween is hard to get in the mood after it's passed, But you never know. I've done that too. Found random footage that I'm like, what? And then I edit it, and I was like, dude, I had this sitting on the computer hidden. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. That's enough yapping from me. I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!